am truly humbled when you do this kind of thing, take on leadership roles. It's challenging because you do it to try to make a difference. You make yourself vulnerable, sharing your ideas and your passions. You do it and you wear your heart on your sleeve, and it's scary. But each of the people that you saw in that video have seen me vulnerable, have seen my passion. And to hear them say such nice words means hopefully I'm still doing something right. There is a quote I try to live by, and it's, "Be the kind of leader that others will follow, even if you have no title." From my resume, you wouldn't know that I believe that because I think I take every position that comes my way. But if you really knew me, you would know that it's not because I seek the title or that I seek the position. I'm just trying to seek the best vantage point to make a difference. At the core of me, I love to be involved. But when I am, it is in my nature, like my husband said, to try to use any skills I have to make it better. This comes from my background. I am a refugee. I was born in Saigon, right as Vietnam fell. My mom, hi Mom, and my incredible dad, who we lost this past January, actually had to put me and my sisters in vegetable baskets and smuggle us through the jungles of Vietnam. We escaped our country in a boat under a hail of gunfire from the communists. We were moored in Malaysia for months, forced to stay on the boat, a people without a home or a country. Finally, France agreed to accept us, and we started life anew. My dad actually went to school at the Cordon Bleu, and we started over, and we built a simple life in Paris, operating a family restaurant. But for every refugee, every immigrant, the true dream is America. My parents were able to bring us to the United States in 1980. Again, we started from scratch. This time was even more challenging, and I especially had a hard time learning a third language. But the kindness, the generosity of people we met along the way who helped us build our life, our American dream. In just a few short decades, I'm so proud to say that my parents built businesses, everything from owning auto shops to restaurants, to import-export businesses in California, to an Arco AM/PM in Washington State, to a shrimping boat in Houma, Louisiana, and strip malls in Houston, Texas. They've done it all because they had to, because they didn't see barriers, they only saw opportunities. So since 1980 to now, my sister Caroline became a successful commercial real estate broker. My sister Pauline, who's here today, became a PharmD, and I became an attorney. I am proud of these accomplishments, and I know my mom is too. But I will say, the most Asian thing about my mom is she's also proud that her 3 daughters married physicians. So, I'd like to think, though, that the immigrant work ethic that we have was passed on to our kids. Our first generation of Americans in our family, I have a niece who is a nurse, a nephew who is in Baylor's BSMD program, and another who just graduated West Point. This is an amazing country. Where else can a refugee family like ours, who came here just 42 years ago with nothing, be afforded a life and a legacy like this? I am grateful. In fact, I love this country so much, and I really consider myself so patriotic that I named my children after American presidents. Mommy loves you, Madison, Reagan, and Lincoln. Okay, get it together. Okay, so this is the core of me. This is why I have a servant's heart. Last night, the Nevada party, and a huge shout out to my Nevada girls and my physicians. We had initially planned a state party with a fun Vegas theme, anything and everything that you would have expected. We had Elvis coming, we had some show tunes, and at the very last minute, we were told some of the parameters changed. So we pivoted, and we pivoted beautifully in just 3 weeks. So you all know that Nevada is fun, especially my hometown of Vegas. So we wanted to show you our hearts. And I cannot think of anything more Nevada Alliance than our service project. We took all the sponsorship money that we had, that we would have spent on entertainment and champagne, and we went to purchasing supplies. I am so proud to say that this morning, we delivered 427 hygiene kits to Chicago Lights right here, just 4 blocks from where you're sitting now. Chicago Lights provides dynamic youth development social programs. They operate a food bank. They provide hygiene kits for the homeless. I cannot think of a better way to give back and a better way to honor the legacy of the AMA and the AMA Alliance for their hospitality and warm welcome to us all these years in Chicago. And thank you to each and every one of you who were part of that service project last night. So that's my point. That is why we are here. The AMA Alliance's mission is to build healthier communities by connecting physician families and collaborating to educate and advocate. Our vision is to be a recognized leader in community health education, resources, and advocacy. Our core values is to connect, educate, advocate. That's a lot of words. It's a lot of ideas. So let me drill down to the bottom line. We are here to make a difference. We are here to do something that matters. I look around this room of all these incredible leaders, and I know that you guys don't do this because you like to have meetings. Especially in my generation and in those behind me, we want our volunteer time to mean something. You know, we've been doing surveys for many, many years. We worked on a member value proposition. We sent out prop fuels. We keep asking people, why do you join? Why are you a member of the AMAA? The answer is always the same. It's connection, it's friendship. But I have to tell you, I challenge that. I didn't join the AMA Alliance to make friends. I joined because I wanted to make a difference. When I did join though, and I was surrounded by other people who wanted to make a difference, that was when I made lifelong friendships. It is the cause, the mission, the why that unites us. So let's focus on that. We just celebrated 100 years of AMA Alliance history with a beautiful celebration. The Centennial Celebration team did such an incredible job honoring our rich history, and on some of the beautiful banners that Debbie Ricks did, there was something that I noted, that at our height, our membership numbers were 90,000. That's not where we are today. Does that mean that the physician family no longer needs our support? Did the practice of medicine just get so much better that an organization like the AMAA is no longer relevant? You heard from Dr. Harmon's talk. That is just not the case. And I would say, sadly, that the exact opposite is true. So while we celebrated our centennial with a beautiful celebration, today is another day. And today, this morning, I want you to look at the next 100 years. What is it that we want from our alliance? What do we want this organization to be in this new day and age? Medicine and the medical family is changing. We have to change with it. How are we going to rise to this occasion? How do we transform the AMAA to meet our potential members where they are? How do we interact and engage them in this new world? Like each of you, I've sat on many boards. Like you, I've been a donor and involved in many nonprofits. But as an attorney. I also boned up on nonprofit organizational law. I certified at UNLV in nonprofit management and nonprofit fundraising. I collaborate in my day-to-day life with incredible thought leaders and change makers in the nonprofit and social services sector through the Jameson Fellowship. And what I know is this: the models exist, the tools exist. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We can truly look at industry best practices and adapt them to the AMAA to envision and create a solid foundation for the next 100 years. From those best practices, I want to emphasize 3 principles that I'd like to integrate into our organization and into our leadership. The first is the idea of failing fast. It's funny, right, that I got that little gift card. I'm not afraid to fail. We need to fail fast because the world is faster in general. How many times have you sat in a meeting debating a decision, pushing the decision on and on for months, and then when you finally make the decision at the end of the year, you realize everything's changed. All the information that that decision was based on has shifted and it's become obsolete. So now you come back to the drawing board and start again. We don't have that time. That's called analysis paralysis, and we need to come to decisions faster. We need to act faster. I know that sounds scary. It might sound rash. Let me assure you, I am not a rash individual. I am an attorney by trade, specifically transactional law. I set up corporations, ambulatory surgical centers, I drafted employment contracts. I was mired in the minutiae and detail, and my job was to anticipate conflict. So we fail fast, but we do it cautiously. We take risks, but we make them calculated. True leaders are not afraid of change. They are not afraid of trying things differently. Managers are. And we are not here to manage the AMA Alliance. We are here to lead it. The second thing I would love to emphasize is this idea of pivoting. An organization that knows how to pivot is agile. If these last few years have taught us anything, it is that the ground beneath us is constantly shifting. When we encounter challenges, and we will, we need to be able to pivot. That makes us a dynamic organization. One that is not a one-way vessel of just receiving information and reacting. It is a dialogue between what our members want and what we can do for them. Finally, the AMAA and its partners need to collaborate to leverage and amplify our impact. Our Alliance family works and grows best when we can create a synergy between our county, state, and national organizations and all of our members at each level. The success of one is the success of the other. So people ask me, how do you make the AMA Alliance successful? We do that by pushing all our efforts and resources to making our states and our counties successful. How do we build leadership in the AMAA? We build it by building leaders in our states, in our counties, and among our members at large. How I see it is this: our members are our heart. Our counties are our boots on the ground. Our states are our voice, and national can be the framework of support. The synergy created between the energy and synergy created between the unity of county, state, national is undeniable. When one falters, it may lean on the other two to shore up resources for its members. When one succeeds, the success can then be shared and leveraged nationwide so we can strengthen all physician families. A rising tide lifts all ships. It is time for us to work collaboratively and leverage our resources, our manpower, and our ideas to all move in the same direction. I cannot wait to bring forth all the ideas I have and hear those of the talented leaders of this organization to find innovative ways to engage our membership. I'd like to reimagine our process of operation. I'd like to look in depth at our programs that we offer. I've heard incredible ideas of new ways of member engagement, and I also hear the feedback of needing to strengthen our organizational culture. I'm lucky to have an incredible team around me. I'm grateful to all those that were listed yesterday in our appointments. They will be my partners, my peers, my mentors, my support in the coming year. And I know each of you will be all of those things to me at some point in time. I have a lot of ideas, and I know you do too. And I believe that if we work together collaboratively with our why top of mind, that we will create something better than what any of us can do alone. So together, we can be brave and fail fast. Together, we can be agile and pivot. And together, we can be a community to leverage and amplify each other's successes. I do hope to launch some exciting things, and I can't wait to tell you about them more in depth. But Grace said I only have 15 minutes. So, honestly, I could tell you, but really it's more in my nature to show you. So I thank you. I thank each of you for believing in me. I thank you for the honor of electing me as the president to help us take the first steps into our next 100 years. I thank my beautiful family, especially my husband, Michael, who is honestly the nicest human being I know. Thank you to my kids, who are my joy. Thank you to my mom and my sister, Pauline, and she made each of those Nevada cookies on the table. Thank you so much to Dr. Harmon, the AMA and the AMA Foundation. And finally, thank you to each of you, my peers, my friends. I really, truly hope to make you proud. I'll leave you with one final thought. At the beginning of the year, I was constantly asked, Jacqueline, what is your logo? What is your logo for the year? What's your tagline? What will define your presidency? I was confused because what we hope to build this coming year is not constrained within the dates of June 14th, 2022 to June 14th, 2023. We are building something that is living and breathing. What we build this year will be the first step to building success for Rachel's year. It is also a continuation of all the successes from Heather's year, Sue Ann's year, Mary Beth's year, and all of the incredible presidents that came before me. So what is my logo? It's the AMA Alliance logo. What are my core values? It is to connect, educate, and advocate. But if you really press me, and you really, really want me to have a tagline, then I'll tell you. A tagline that will tell you who I am, it's this. Let's get it done.